2017 and 18, including rape.
Brown's attorney says Brown denies all allegations and says the two had a, quote, consensual personal relationship.
If the league determines there was misconduct, they could put him on commissioner's exempt, they could suspend him.
If you're the National Football League, all you have to do is tell us whether something warrants somebody's participation or arrival on the commissioner's exempt list or not.
Now, it doesn't mean that police can't look at this and say, should we look into this a little bit more? But that's not what's happening right now.
Antonio Brown, I think, has used up a lot of the goodwill that he had built up through the years over the course of the last off season or so.
If I'm a teammate in that locker room, I don't want him in the locker room until this gets figured out because I don't trust Antonio Brown.
I will tell you this, Antonio Brown's in a world of trouble. It's not fun and games anymore. One of the top 2 wide receivers in the world will be lucky to be on a football field this Sunday.
Welcome back to First Take, coming to you live from Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. USA Today columnist Christine Brennan says the NFL needs to bench Antonio Brown immediately. In response to sexual assault allegations in a commentary published Wednesday, Brennan wrote the following. The NFL is just as much a part of U.S. culture as the Me Too movement. They coexist in 21st century America, and that's as it should be. So before too much time goes by, the NFL needs to get Brown off the field for as long as necessary. This one is simple. It has the commissioner's exempt list written all over it. On that note, we bring in a Super Bowl champion, former Patriot, Damian Woody here with us. Good to have you.
Hello.
Stephen A., do you agree with Christine Brennan on this?
Not exactly.
Okay.
And just so you know, she's, I've known Christine for years, and I think she's absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've known her for many years, interviewed her on many occasions. She's one of the matriarchs of this business. She's a very, very special lady. I just somewhat disagree with her only in this sense. I think it's important for the league to meet with Miss Brittany Taylor first. And then after you meet with Brittany Taylor personally, as a part of your investigation, if you come to the conclusion that her allegations are plausible, that she's believable and credible, and you deem that to be something that's going to be a huge problem for the NFL, then you act. I don't think it's right just to act right now based on, okay, this allegation has come out about Antonio Brown. You got to go because that's setting the stage for a whole bunch of people out there to just suffer at the hands of a mere accusation. I will remind everybody that there's a gentleman by the name of Reuben Foster who's on the San Francisco 49ers. The woman accused him of some act of violence. I don't have the article in front of me. Please forgive me. She ultimately recanted her statement in court and said, I lied because I was upset because he broke up with me. We talked about it right here on this show. I'm saying let's not act like that's not possible. I'm not talking about Antonio Brown here. I'm just talking about in general. We can't automatically assume that an accusation is fact because that is not true. It's not fact. It's an allegation. It warrants an investigation. True. But without speaking to her directly, I think it would be premature for the NFL just to bench him based on her accusation without talking to her first. Now, next week when they see her, if you decide after meeting with her, that's different, but not before.
I agree with her on this. I don't know if I agree for exactly the reasons she states, but I do agree. If the point is, because she mentions what the Me Too movement has shown is we should believe women, and sure, but if it remains an accusation, the accusation alone should not put someone on the commissioner's exempt list. But then she later wrote, and this is the part I agree with, and it would be nice to be able to get that clarification from her if in fact this is the point, because I believe it is. I'm trying not to give in to the Twitter mob, right? Like you don't want to just all the outrage and so you violate principle, because it's easy then to always be outraged and always violate the principle of a burden of proof and an accusation not being enough. In this case, I have seen a text message from Antonio Brown. Let's assume for a second that it is in fact from Antonio Brown, stating that he engaged in a piece of behavior while she was sleeping, which is by definition non-consensual. That piece alone, to me, makes Brennan's point correct. Without it, I'm not sure. But with it, I don't see a way around the reasoning, really, that this is what's the commissioner's exempt list for. It's for without the full due process, without the full process playing out, the commissioner could say this is bad for our league. The text message alone, even if it's not true, the commissioner may say this is a bad look for our league. You're on the exempt list. I think Christine Brennan is correct.
I think she's wrong. I think she's wrong, and Stephen A. hit on a critical point. The fact that the league hasn't even interviewed Brittany Taylor. In the article that Christine Brennan wrote, she mentioned that she doesn't feel like Antonio Brown should be suspended. But you bring up the commissioner's exempt list. That's basically what you're doing. You're paying him, but you're suspending him. You're removing him from the field. Okay, you ask any player, whether it be football, it doesn't matter the sport. If I am removed from the field, what is that to me? That is a punishment, right?
Right.
You are essentially saying that, in your eyes, that I am guilty. But I'm going to put you over here. Yeah, you're going to get your money. I'm going to put you over here, and then we're going to collect the facts. And I think that's where we're setting a dangerous precedent in that manner. Instead of gathering the facts, talking to all parties involved, then making a decision. Then it makes more sense to me. But to come out and say in your article, yeah, I don't want to suspend him, but in the same breath, I want to put him on the commissioner's list. That to me says that as a player, you're essentially suspending me with pay.
Here's where I would challenge, and I want you to respond to this, Max, because I think it's important to point this out. And you too, Molly, because I definitely want to hear from you on this as well. What we're talking about here is this. You're talking about putting a man on the bench, an allegation comes out. You're the NFL, and you talk to no one. The allegation comes, and you say, you got to sit down. Because that's basically what we're saying.
No,
you're saying,
that's not what I'm saying.
I'm saying what I'm saying is, factually speaking, if you're the NFL and you haven't spoken to anybody.
Wait, time out. Time out. And then yes, if that were just the case, I would agree with both of you. What I'm saying is the commissioner's exempt list is if the optics get bad for the NFL for good reason. So, for example, once Antonio Brown sends that text, if it's established that, in fact, that is his text that he sent to her, what he stated, if untrue, he pays a stupid tax. We've all paid stupid taxes, whether it's, you had a parking pass and you paid again to park, right? We all pay, and you think, that was $20, that's a stupid tax I just paid. At best, you put that in a text and lie about doing that to someone.
But you still have to talk to somebody. To find out about the tax.
But what I'm saying
you got to talk to somebody.
At worst, it's true, and that is non-consensual.
Here would be my one question: is reading the full civil lawsuit in that non-consensual, and that's in the text, and we have that fact. We also have the comment where he said, "I felt like a rapist." Isn't that enough to be on the commissioner?
That's where I'm going.
Here's the unfortunate timing, though. So Brittany Taylor happens to be getting married this weekend. I wish they could have spoken with her this week. We didn't have to wait till next week
here's the deal.
before the game.
Hold on, Molly. Here's the deal. You still have to find out. What if he sits there, and I'm not implying that this is true at all. But what if he were to say, that wasn't me, wasn't my text. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. In other words, what I'm saying is you have to talk to somebody. I'm only attacking the premise of the NFL making a decision without talking to anybody. That is a bad precedent to set. And oh, by the way, clearly, there have been many situations. Women have been victimized. They've been villainized. Listen, man, I'm a father of 2 daughters. I've got 8 nieces. I've got 4 older sisters. Trust you me, I get it. I totally understand. And you have a situation where the vast majority of women who find themselves in these situations they have been victimized. No question about it. But we also have rarity. I think the number is 85% to 15%, where 85% of the time women are victims, and the other 15%, that's not the case, according to the statistical information that's been out there. Knowing that, to sit up there and to have a presumption of guilt to the point where you don't even feel the need to talk to anybody. It's basically saying, all right, 15% of y'all just going to have to suffer.
It's not.
No matter what.
I agree.
Because, again, Max, listen, you can, for me, the way I look at it is you can dress it up any way you want, and you can say, well, I'm going to put you on the commissioner's list, the exempt list, but you're still suspending him.
No, he's getting paid, though.
But he's suspended. You're taking him off the field. Okay? If you ask any player, listen, everyone loves money. Everyone loves the money, loves getting paid and all those type of things. But if you take the one thing that guys love to do the most, and you remove them from that.
Well, he was just ready to quit. So remember, he wasn't even going to play over a helmet. So how much
that had nothing to do with
I'm just saying, how much do we know
It's two different situations.
Two different situations.
First of all, there's something. This is interesting. I find it interesting that you say that because, to my way of thinking, and obviously I never had the shoulder pads on. Football players, that's a full contact sport. Like the way fans look at that is, you're getting paid to not play football. You would think a lot of football players would sign up. I could take this year off, still get paid. You would think a lot of guys would sign up for that. It doesn't feel like a punishment to the extent that you're describing.
That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to players that I'm being taken removed from the field. Yes, I'm getting paid, but I'm being removed from the field. And you didn't even interview. You didn't talk to anyone. Nobody. I'm not saying that.
Don't put him on commissioner list.
I think that's a fair point.
I'm not saying that.
Talk to somebody.
I'm not saying that. If the league interviews Brittany Taylor, and then after the interview, the league comes to the conclusion like, what she said is, look, we've looked her in the eye, we've heard her testimony. What she said is credible.
All I'm saying is this. If you establish that was Antonio Brown's text, if it's me, that's the exemption.
Still got to talk to somebody to establish it.
Damon Woody, we have to go to break. This is yes or no. In your heart of hearts, after everything that's happened, you want to see Antonio Brown in a Patriots uniform playing on the field representing the Shield on Sunday? Yes or no?
Yeah, I want to see due process play itself out.
And my response to you, Molly, is you know what problem I have with that question that you just asked him? The Patriots. It don't matter who it is.
Well, he played for the Patriots, so that's what I was saying.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Okay.
Because some people, some people might not care if he was playing for Miami.
Kyler Murray says his goal is to be the best quarterback in NFL history, but does he have what it takes to